this quick session, I'd like to talk about your website. Who's looking after it? Is somebody trying to hack it? Yes, they are. And what can you do about that? There's two options here. You can either look it after yourself or get an external party to look after it for you. If you have an external party looking after for you, you're moving the liability, and it makes you to focus on making some money in your business. Now, some examples I'll go through here is some of the websites that have been hacked. A very good example is one of the South African government sites, which I'm showing you here, which have been hacked a few years ago. They've been notified that they have been hacked. And guess what? 2 years later, evidence is still there that they have not fixed or addressed the pages that's been hacked. The problem here is that pages is not a problem, you can fix it. The problem is that somebody could actually insert or introduce a Trojan, a phishing agent within your website, and your website can be used to commit fraud, commit a crime out there. Now, I think the first step here is let's look at some of the hack attempts from different countries on one of my web servers. Now, what I've got is on the back end is a system that looks at logons that should not occur, and it will block that IP for about 10 days. That is configurable. And once I would get an email on that hack attempt. Now here, when you install, and most probably your website is hosted by a CMS system which allows you to update it yourself, and you can do some of the changes. And many of the systems out there are things like WordPress. We have got Joomla, PHP Nuke. In the .NET environments, we've got the .NET .NET Nuke. And that allows you to set it up. However, things have to protect it. Your system has to be configured correctly. Any new problems that start creeping in, new weaknesses, new hotfixes that has to be applied, this has to be done because the vulnerabilities will be exploited as soon as possible. Let me take WordPress again, a very popular content management system. Now, as soon as a weakness has been identified, this gets broadcasted worldwide, and many hacker sites and trollers and sites that want to commit fraud look at these weaknesses. And once it's identified, they will actually scan out there and determine which site has got the old WordPress or any content management system site or anything or any weaknesses, and they'll try to exploit that. This can be used to create phishing sites for banking fraud or anything like that. Now, what I'm going to go through here is the actual hacking attempts from certain sites and what you can do about that. What you see here is that somebody is trying to attempt to log in as admin on this web server. There's a user admin normally created. However, in this case, it was not created and it was renamed something else. And that's a very good way of actually making sure people don't hack into the system. We can see here that attack is from the Netherlands, so it's an illegal attempt to log on as the administrator. Although, as I said, administrator, the user ID does not exist on this. As you can see from Turkey, we have quite a few attempts. Now, this is from an ISP in Turkey. Now, you can see the IP address there is. We can actually manually block it depending on the software that you have for your system. This is an Ideal Hosting Net.tr, which is in Turkey. And this site seems that it either is compromised or it does allow systems to be hacked from their premises. Now, one thing you can do is to determine who owns the IP, who's the actual top end owner, and send an abuse email to that address. We can use the Whois lookup, and as you can see here, we're using the Whois database lookup system. It tells us who the IP address belongs to, and as you can see here, Bay URL is the company owning that, and just below that you can see there's an abuse email address that you can send this evidence to. Also from the hosting one, you can send to that, and we recommend that you actually take this information based on the logs and hacking and send it to them, and these accounts will be closed up. Now so far is that your site, as you've seen with evidence, my site is hacked continuously. You must make sure that the site is protected and any active attack is controlled, either by blocking the IP or making sure that you get those reports. So you've got a choice here. You either look after the site yourself by investing some time and effort and some knowledge, or you pass it on to a third party who would look after your site. Whatever it is, somebody has to be proactively looking after your site. Any attack happens, we need to make sure that the updates are being controlled, the updates are being done continuously, zero-day hacking doesn't take place, and that you move that to somebody else. So either make money on the business that you have and outsource the problem that you have to some other party. There are a few organizations which we'll actually show after this video that you can actually go have a look at, or some automated process that you can actually do it yourself if you're hosting yourself.